Hi, now let's have a look at initiate and decide for this particular process of project planning. Now there are three major things that you need to determine how you're going to deal with them. One is to decompose the work into some sort of a sequence so that you can do things in a logical fashion. Now that's going to depend on several things. One is the dependencies among the various bits and pieces. So for example, it's really hard to get a system going without at least a rudimentary database. You also need some rudimentary sort of means of input, so you need an interface. There are those initial things you need to get done. And there's a certain amount of infrastructure you need to get done. And there are probably user stories that make more sense at the beginning than at the end. So there are some things that you need to do to arrange the work from a functional point of view. Then there are risks, and managing your risks that can affect the sequence of how you do things. So you'll need to sort out some method of estimating risks or assessing risks and to tracking those. You'll also need, in this subject particularly, and I think in many software development projects, to sort out what you don't know and therefore will have to learn. Now, a lot of the time you don't know much about the business problem or the client's problem, and you're going to have to learn about that. Now, an imperfect understanding of what the problem is has led to more problems in software development and more, write-downs, in sometimes in terms of hundreds of millions of dollars, than any other problem. Right? Technically, software developers know what they're doing. Sometimes they get it not quite so right, but largely they know their craft. We'll at least give them that. But what they don't know is what the client's problem is, and a failure to try and take the time to understand that problem and all its aspects usually costs dearly in the end. So one of the things you need to decide is how are you going to establish what you do know, what you don't know, and to order these in some reasonable priority sequence so that you know what to do. Then the question is, what's going to work best in this context? You can't afford to put up the most elaborate means of doing things. You're probably going to have to take some shortcuts and be quite pragmatic about it all. So in this particular context, how are you going to do these things?